Okay, good to see everybody here, and really appreciate you coming out on a beautiful day. Apologize for the lateness of the hour. Some guys are getting hungry here. Our guys feel the same way. But it's good to have you here. We had a good practice, fast practice. It's great to have everybody back. First mandatory mini camp, you know, and seeing the whole team out here together is exciting. I told the team, I said, it seems like every stretch, every point, waypoint along the way during this stretch, when something new happens, it's exciting for all of us. You know, whether it's starting the off-season program, whether it's starting the football school, starting the OTAs, now it's the mandatory minicamp, and it's thrilling. So, you know, it's the most excited we've been so far. But we got a lot of excitement to come. So I'm excited I'm happy about our guys. Okay.
John Suggs, how did he look to you? I mean, you know, weight-wise and whatever. And is this, would you say he's now the face of the defense with Noddick on? And,
yeah, you know, I mean, I don't really feel like – I never liked that term, face of anything, you know. Defenses don't have a face, you know. And we have a lot of leaders. I mean, Terrell Suggs is definitely a huge part of this team, huge leader on this team, emotional leader, vocal leader, great football player. He's going to be a leader. He's going to lead. He always has. So, you know, but I'm not going to single one guy out and say he's the leader and the other guys aren't, you know. I mean, the other guys are great leaders too. You look at Elvis and Darryl and Chris Canty. Just to name a couple guys, Ladarius Webb off the top of my head, Jimmy Smith becoming a great leader. So I think your defense or your team is built on leaders. Football teams are built on a bunch of leaders. There's a bunch of leaders out there. But Terrell Suggs obviously takes a backseat to nobody.
You mentioned Jimmy Smith being a leader. How has he kind of grown and matured into that leadership role?
Well, he's how has he done it? You know, he's done it by working hard, I think. You know, he's done it by honing his craft and becoming the very best corner he can be. I love the way he pays attention to detail. But he's also done it by overcoming adversity. You know, he's worked hard as far as the injury front this year. He's getting closer and closer to being 100%. He's not there yet, but nobody's worked harder than he has. He's been here every day since the season, you know, was over. So it probably starts, you know, that way in terms of leading by example.
With Perryman, does he? Is this about learning the playbook here, impressing you at all at this point in his career? What's this about for him?
Right, Brashad. You know, it's about all that. It's about learning the playbook. It's about learning how to get in a good stance, get a good takeoff, run a good route, and then you try to put it all together and make a play. You know, all those guys had a challenge today as far as the rookies because this was a new phase. So the minicamp is faster than the OTAs, just like training camp will be faster than the minicamp, just like the preseason games, regular season games, playoff games, etc. It all speeds up all the time. So they have to make an adjustment because it's the first time they've done this. You know, every day is a new day for those guys. So Brashard's doing a really good job at working to put it all together, and that's the challenge for every rookie. But he's got all the talent in the world. He's very determined. He's very talented, and he's going to do really well.
With the braids, does he remind you a little bit about Torrey Smith way back when?
Inevitable comparison. Yeah, sure. He's got the same. He's got braids just like Torrey did. But you know, I tell you, the other thing I would compare to Torrey is the work ethic. You know, they both have that kind of work ethic.
John, what have you seen from Matt Shaw now having a few weeks of OTAs and now minicamp?
You know, I see a veteran quarterback. You know, a guy that knows how to run things. It's funny because I read, you guys always want to read about the interceptions that Matt throws. It seems like whenever you guys are out here, he throws an interception, you know. So I looked at whoever's standing next to me, and I said, gosh, Stan, the media's here, and Matt threw an interception. He didn't throw one since the last time you guys were here. So I want to get that on the record. But he's having a very good camp, and I think he's a very, very good backup quarterback. Obviously is a starter quality player, so very good starter, had a lot of success, and we're happy to have him.
John, is Dennis just, how do you proceed with him there, with him and his status?
Well, I guess like we said all along, you know, a couple things are going to happen for him to play ultimately. Number one, he's going to have to be cleared by the doctors. And number two, he's going to have to decide he wants to play because obviously there'll be some risk involved. The first thing hasn't happened yet. He hasn't been cleared by the docs yet. So he's been going through, as you saw before, the individual part of practice. Minicamp, unless you're cleared, you can't come out to practice. I don't know if that's a rule or our policy, but that's the way it goes. So until he gets cleared by the docs, he won't be able to practice, and we'll just have to see where that goes from here.
Coach, what unit do you think has the most potential for growth from last year to this year?
I don't even have that answer. I don't have it. You have to decide on that one. Too complicated for me.
John, not to jinx it, quiet off season. Do you think the way you guys have buckled down
as far as improvement and things like that.
I mean, in terms of off the field trouble. It's nothing, you know.
Oh, I haven't even thought about that. I mean,
Well, good.
you know,
That's
our guys have done a great job with that, you know, and start patting yourself on the back. You know, I think Harry does a great job. I give Harry a lot of credit, you know, and he's our player personnel director in terms of player development. We've got a bunch of young guys that love football, and that's what they're thinking about. You know, it seems to me that the guys that get in trouble sometimes are the guys that got other things on their mind, you know, besides football, and they need to grow out of that. Not to make excuses, but a lot of those things that happened 2 years ago and then even earlier were either guys that some of those guys weren't even here or were already gone, so I'm not sweating that. And those other things got cleared up. But that doesn't say that we don't want to be perfect. We want to chase perfection, and I think we have good guys, and we'll try to continue to do that as best we can.
John, how does the Darius look to you? And I guess having a healthy offseason might allow him to pick up to where he was leaving off at the end of last season.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, I thought Webby looked good out here today. All those guys looked good, moved around well. Looked like they've been working hard. So obviously Webby's very important to us. You know, we could have a pretty darn good corner group, you know, with the guys we have here. So not hopefully, but we'll keep building toward that and try to make it happen.
Coach, on a personal note, you look good. Do you feel good?
Thank you. Well, you know, we have an owner here that models, you know, looking good is really important, having a good tan. Remember the old saying, it's better to look good than to feel good? Let's say, was that Billy Crystal? Saturday Night Live? You look marvelous.
All right, one more. Robert Myers, is that for his shoulder? He's not practicing today?
I don't really remember what it is. It might be the shoulder, but all those guys that weren't practicing, they have some tweak. So they're not practicing. All right, great. Thanks.
Thank you. Thanks, Coach.